Welcome back. So, as of yesterday, we have well, actually, I guess it's four temporarily available squads back from the Abyss, two for the USSR and two for America. So, let's take a look at them. So, for the Soviets, we have the PPD-40 DSC Assaulters at BR-4 and the SKS-31 Engineers at BR-2. They are both legacy premium squads. The PPDs can add on an engineer. I don't have the engineer squad, but from what I know of engineer squads, I would be really surprised if you could add a fifth soldier onto them. If you could, I would at least look at picking them up, because I think they're really cool. But I don't think so. Then for America, we have the Assaulters with the UDM-42 at BR-2. It's kind of like a Thompson with quick reloading mags, because they're attached to each other at opposite ends. And we also have the Tempest Mark V, which is actually a really, really good plane. It comes with 4 Hispano cannons and 2 500-pound bombs, so it makes it very capable of going into that flex roll. And the 20mm cannons mean that it'll do really well against air targets. The 500-pound bombs mean that it'll delete ground targets. All in all, it's a pretty decent plane. But let's not just talk about them, let's take a look at them. So here's our 54th Pioneer Battalion, 5th Infantry Division. The thing I like about these guys the most has to be their uniform. I really like that. I kind of wish I could get it on more soldiers in the game. They are 35.50 gold for a 4-man squad. They are going to be pretty powerful at BR2, having a 5-shot semi-automatic rifle that fully upgraded, probably going to do something in the neighborhood of 12.5, 13 damage a shot. Like, that is going to be powerful. My problem with them is that it's a 4-man squad, and I don't feel like 4-man squads are just big enough. I don't really like squads that are smaller than 5, but that's what your boys look like. Let's see how their gun performs. So, if you've used any of the other 5-shot or 6-shot rifles, you know that you can go through your ammo pretty quickly. You're going to be reloading all the time, so getting reload speed on these guys is probably going to be a must if you do get them. The rifle itself feels fine. I think it has a bit of muzzle climb when you shoot it quickly, but it's a cool looking gun. I kind of wish that they had bayonets, but they don't. But you can make them work pretty well. I mean, it's not ideal for clearing a room, but you can do it with this. I just wish it was a 5-man squad. I'd be all over them just because I think they're kind of unique. But for 33.50 or 35.50, whatever I said that they were, yeah, 35.50, that's a lot for a 4-man squad. I think they're going to be powerful at BR2, given that they have a hard-hitting rifle. And that they're BR2, but like, I like their uniforms though. Moving on from them, we'll look at a squad that I do have. So these are our PPD boys. They're originally from the Battle of Berlin. You can add on an engineer. They're BR4 weapons, so I have BR5 weapons attached to them. Instead of the AVT, you could instead go with an AVS. It's really just personal preference. It's just what I gave them. But these PPD-40s are excellent guns. So they have 15x9 for their recoil, the 71-round drum magazine, and they've got a bayonet. They're only doing 6.6 damage, but when you shoot at 920 rounds a minute, look out, world. But yeah, I love these guys. I used to run them all the time. Now I've got better things, so I don't really run them as often, which is a shame because they're really cool. Plus, I like that they all come standard with the chest armor. But they're not bad. Let's check them out. Originally, they were a Berlin squad, so back in the day, they were the counterpart to the MP40x2 squad. They were probably the better of the two squads, but, you know, just look at how stable that is. Here, I'll literally just put my, like, finger on my mouse and not even hold the mouse. Like, that's not moving very much. But yeah, they're very comfortable. And for an SMG, they're pretty accurate over distance. Plus, who doesn't like having a bayonet? Between the two, this is probably the squad that I would look at. I think that they're going to be more useful to most people. That being said, again, like 3550 is so much for a 4-man engineer squad. Like, don't get me wrong, they're really cool, and I think these guns are going to be excellent at BR2. I mean, I don't think the Soviets have anything that compares to it. They don't even have a semi-auto rifle at BR2, so like that's huge. But it's only a 4-man squad, and I don't think that it's worth 3550. Anyway, let's look at the Americans. So the Americans, they have the Tempest, which I think is an amazing plane. I don't personally have it, but just on paper, statistically, I think it looks awesome. Like, look at this. The best full turn time is 15.8 seconds, and it gets two 500-pound bombs, and it gets 420 mil cannons. But, you know, I'm sure this is probably like 5,000 gold. Yeah, 5,000 gold. So, it is going to be a spicy meatball. Still, if you're looking for a plane that's going to be able to flex into both roles, like let's say you just hit BR4 and you don't really have a ton for America yet, this is going to be a really good option for you. Now, there are other planes that you'll have access to in, like, BR3 that can do similar things. I'm pretty sure that the American P-51 is, like, BR3. And, it carries two 500-pound bombs, and it can basically do the same thing this does. This just does it a little bit better because it's got the Hispano 20 mils, and because I think this is a little bit more agile. I'd have to look at the stats, but I want to say the P-51s turn in more than 15.8 seconds. But yeah, that should give you an idea of its speed, agility, firepower. You get the idea. So far of everything that we've looked at that's part of this, this would be my choice. And the thing is, if I didn't have the whole American tech tree researched, honestly, I think I would pick that up. It's pretty similar to this Mosquito and what it brings to the table. And actually, both of them in tandem would be an absolutely disgusting lineup. Like, if I was just starting out with America and I could pick up both, that would be a disgusting lineup. But anyway, let's look at the last squad, the UDM42 squad. This is actually a proper modern premium squad. They have an engineer and 4 assaulters. I remember hearing good things about them in the past. I believe that they were a Normandy squad, and while I never picked them up, I always heard good things about them. So, I know it's not quite a Thompson, but the comparison was always made to me of it being like a 30 cal Thompson with twin mags, even though it's not. They're 25 round magazines though, and 20 by 10 recoil's not bad. That's pretty controllable, and 800 rounds a minute's pretty good. This is all going to get a little bit better when you fully upgrade. Well, you don't have to fully upgrade them. It's just, for whatever reason, when you're viewing premium weapons, shows them as not being fully upgraded. So, you can imagine it's going to be over 6 for damage. It's going to be under 20 for recoil. It's probably going to be under 10 for horizontal. And the fire rate's probably going to be closer to 880, since it's usually like a 10% fire rate buff. They should perform similarly to the MP 40x2s, but with a higher fire rate. So I like that you can reload your first mag pretty quickly on those. And they're pretty controllable. It's a nice quick reload there. This reload should be slower though. Well, if it is, I can't tell. But yeah, it's a pretty comfortable reload, just across the board.
I need cover, reloading.
And you do actually carry a pretty substantial amount of ammo with these guys without even upgrading them. As far as the uniforms, they're really nothing special. They look like your average American. But, they do have a premium engineer, so that part's nice. So you can build all the fun little toys. They are 4,500 though. And they are, I assume, BR4, but they could be BR5. BR2! Never mind. Yeah, these guys are going to be so good. I assumed that they were like BR4, but this is a really good gun for BR2. 4,500 gold is a ton, but and I don't really like recommending assault squads, but I also don't really like the tech tree weapon, like assault weapons for the American tech tree at BR2. Like, it's all Stens and like Lancasters and grease guns. And don't get me wrong, I understand like the practicality in the real world with like defense economics for why you would make Stens and grease guns. Like, it makes sense. It's just not what I want to carry. Like, I would much rather have one of these or a Thompson. The Lanchester's not actually bad. It's actually a pretty good gun. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I like to use the more iconic guns. That's why I like BR3 America more, because it's where you find, like, the Bar and the Thompson and the M1 Garand, and it lets me get my, like, inner Freeaboo out, I guess. I don't know, it's like going and playing Germany and not having, like, a Kar 98 and an MP40. It just doesn't feel right. Or, like, not having an STG. But yeah, I think these guys are excellent. Like, this gun, carrying 150 rounds for it, with 25 round mags, so you can reload it forever. And I'm sure that they come with backpacks with, like, medic bags, because every premium squad does. So, if you wanted to swap them for ammo, you're never going to run out of ammo. Or at least you shouldn't. Not with that much ammo. But at BR2, with the UDM42, like, that's disgusting. This thing, what's the reload time on it? It says 2.5, but that did not feel like 2.5. Maybe they have the skill, but the point is they have a pretty quick reload, and they have a pretty good fire rate. The American offerings this time around are really good. Like, I'm not gonna get them, but that's because I have the whole tech tree unlocked, and I've like found my own solutions to the American low BR guns being kind of boring to me. Um, I have one assault squad. I don't have any of them on right now, but I have one assault squad that I outfitted with the BSA Thompsons, and I think I run the Premium Marine Raiders and the Australian event squad from the past. So there's that. So as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.